Nearly a third of millennials live with their parents, but those who live alone or with roommates are happier about their housing circumstances, more financially independent, and have more savings, according to a new survey. Some 31% of people born from 1981-1997 live at home with their parents, according to U.S. Census data. More than 22% of those millennials are unhappy with their living situation, while 28% are very or extremely satisfied to be living with their parents, according to a new survey of 1,095 people by Comet, a student loan website. By comparison, more than half, 58.8%, of millennials who live alone or with a roommate are very or extremely satisfied with their housing, and just 4.2% are dissatisfied. While millennials have gotten this bad reputation of living with their parents and being deadbeats, I think the data shows a little bit of a different story, said Comet project manager Claire Cole. It's more out of necessity or thinking big picture than, I don't want to be a real adult, so I'm going to stay with mom and dad. Cole told DailyMail.com that millennials are facing unique challenges including sky-high college costs, and those factors sometimes force them to make trade-offs when it comes to their living situation. But it doesn't mean they're happy about it. In fact, millennials who live with their parents were 5.5 times more likely to be unhappy with their living arrangements compared to peers who have moved into their own spaces. Millennials who fled the nest are also much more likely to feel satisfied with their level of independence than those who remain at home. Some 69.7% of those who live alone or with a roommate reported feeling very or extremely satisfied with their independence, compared to 27.5% of home dwellers. In addition, just 2% of those who moved away from home feel dissatisfied with their independence, compared to 27.3% of those who still live with mom and dad. Share this article. Share. While living at home offers a more affordable option to moving out, millennials who chose to get their own place tended to fare better financially, though it's unclear if they were moving out because they have greater job security and higher pay than their at-home counterparts. While the overall U.S. unemployment rate has been reaching record lows, many millennials remain low-paid or underemployed, which could be a factor keeping some of them at home. 3/4, 75.7%, of millennials who moved out of their parents' homes had full-time work, compared to 54% of those who stayed with mom and dad. Unemployment was also higher, 12.8%, among those who stayed home compared to those who moved out, 3.8%. Those who live independently also tend to make more money, with 40.5% of them making $50,000 or more per year, compared to 21.5% of their homebound peers who can say the same. Those who lived at home were also twice as likely to say they were not at all satisfied with their careers. Millennials who moved out of their parents' homes had higher housing costs, an average of $853.10 compared to $286.70, and were more likely to pay rent or mortgage, 80.1% compared to 29.7%. They also tended to have more savings, $11,310 compared to $7,464, and more money left over at the end of each month after the bills were paid, $693.60 compared to $584.60. When it comes to student debt, The difference between at-home millennials and those who have moved out is negligible. Nearly 49% of both groups still carry that debt, indicating that living with parents doesn't necessarily make it easier to pay down loans. Those who live on their own carry an average of $27,106 in student loan debt, compared to $25,187 among those who live at home. Living with parents also has an impact on millennials' dating lives, with 31% of those at home saying they are not at all satisfied with their romantic lives. By comparison, just 11% of independent millennials are unhappy with their dating circumstances.